Hi, good morning. This is your host, Salty Potato, and we're just messing around with AI prompts in the VRoid Studio. So if you ever wondered how to, okay, maybe not wondered, because I'm still wondering that aspect, but if you ever were curious about, pardon, barely started up my laptop, so the antivirus thing, which you had to show up. But as I was saying, if you were ever curious about how you can turn your AI art into VRoids, then we're probably going to be doing that right now. But right now we're using Leonardo AI. As you're gonna see, hey, like we have, there's lots going on in the AI aspect, and as we touch the VRoid Studio, we'll be seeing that there's lot of stuff we have to touch there as well. Don't worry, hey, a lot of times when it says NSFW content, it's not actually NSFW. It's just that the system has flagged certain materials that may imply one way or the other. Like right here, some may find it to be provocative, so that could be as to the reason why we see this image hidden as a mm, under the NSFW censorship, if that's what we can call it. But to quickly touch this of Leonardo AI on the free accounts, you have a limited amount of currency that which is used to generate artwork. This is 150. This resets on a daily basis after 24 hours of first activation. And each image takes a certain amount to generate, right? And you'll see that here in the generate button. And this and in this model it'll be costing us 16 per art, and you can adjust the amount of images up to maximum of 8 over here on the left side, right under un, under your total balance. But if we were to switch between different models, we will see as to how that price can fluctuate. Right? I'm as, I'm assuming just as well as pardon. Let's go to favorite models. I'm assuming just as you are that it will be dependent on the type of content and detail or and how heavily detailed it is. So just for business sake, eh, let's go between these three models. Right now we're on the cute anime girls 1.0. You'll be seeing that did not change. It is currently 16 tokens. But let it, let's see it with the animation. Hmm. All right. There was a model that did this for 8. Mm. All right, let's try anime V2. Okay, it is. All right, I'm certain that model price has changed. Uh, they're all sticking at 16. Maybe that was because of the recent update. Let's touch this. So yeah. Okay, it looks as if 16 is a flat out rate for all of these models, which has me surprised because just yesterday I was seeing a model with that cost at 8, another for 16, and the whatnot. Not, but all right, we'll just work with it. We might work with these images of this character that we was experimenting yesterday in my free time. But it'll be more preferable that we work with our own character. And pardon, with a new prompt. So yeah, I was messing around with the util, hoping to generate something that looked like her, and we sort of got that over here in this background character here, but very far out. Yes, I was trying to replicate the Gintama art style. I've grown to be a huge fan of it, of the shows in the last few weeks that I've been watching it. I have over 270 or 300 something episodes watched. I watched them 2 times speed and skip the opening and closing songs after like the first couple episodes with a new opening, right? So, like I saved myself far more than half of the total episode length. However, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what's writing a prompt. this prompt will be taken in and to generate an artwork. Arc. My concern though is that because it's costing 16, we have to be more careful with what we want to do because we have less than 10 images that we can work with. Hmm? Pardon. To okay, I barely noticed this. This used to be on a flat rate. So for 1 and 2, it's gonna be 16, but it seems as if it's incremental from anything passing that. For 3, we're being charged one more than usual. For 4, 4 more than usual. And it just continues going like this until ah okay. So assuming 8, then we get charged 4 in the image. It's a little bit chilly. One moment. Let me turn off the ceiling fan. One moment. All right, there. So, so quickly touch this. We have two prompts that we can work on here for purpose of art generation. First one is the prompt proper, which is the prompt that you'll be typing in that has the content detail, what you're looking for, even textures and particular art supplies if you would like to replicate some certain materials and art supplies that you may have hold a preference for. Or and well, it's generated with that in mind. To an extent, yeah. Just depends on the model and how you're able to write that in. Because here we have alcohol marker and we can sort of see it. At the same time, not. At, in some spaces, it may feel like watercolor paint or another material outright. If I were to pull up some earlier artwork, I'll show you that it's able to generate a variety of artworks. But let's leave that to the side and mm, but I think pardon not to the side, but I think that you'll find a preference to this once you start messing around with the software. But we're here to create models a for VRoid Studio, so we're most likely gonna stay between these four options. These are what I've already reserved of my personal. However, if you're just beginning, you may go to community models and type up anime. Like, again, this is just for the what we're doing and the application of it. It's so this is like what I'm typing in, but when you go do this, we end up in searching for a whole different prompt. That's on you. If you're following along again, and it's up to you. But maybe, well, there's two I picked up on very anime styled. And it will be these ones, Anti Cloth Anime and Dark Anime Retro. So I'll be flagging those, and those should be added to my favorites. Yeah, as you're seeing it, they got added to your favorites. However, the search function didn't erase from community models to your favorite models tabs. So you'll be seeing that on cases they're missing. Just erase that and press enter. and You'll be brought back to all of your models. So mm, let's mess around with a couple of these models and just try to generate an artwork in general. Oh, hmm, maybe these. So we have like a range of 6, or maybe we can deliver. We can use deliberate, eat, eat, and like pick one of the pick two other models. From there, we'll end up having multiple reference points for this VRoid character we can make. VRoid Studio, at its basic, it's really simple to use, but if you want to get more intricate, there isn't much of a steep learning curve to that. It's just a matter of applying yourself and recognizing what you can do, right? All right. Mm, is there a preference for a particular character? But first generation is cute anime. Hey, morning, Lupus. Just seeing you on chat. How are you, bud? How are you? You. If only I had an overlay for my chat so I could see like what who is chatting and whatnot. But morning. Here we are messing around with AI art generation and grabbing those images for reference to make VRoid characters. You can use these VRoid characters for VTubing, or as I'm going through to make MMD animations. And but here we are. Now we need to start. In this prompt, once again, we're trying to describe the type of character we want or the contents thereof. And you can try typing in a particular character name, as I was searching Hutali yesterday, the other time, and my free time. I already lost track as to when, but it may not even be that your character is to be referenced. Pardon. Let me rephrase that. They, they will. They may end up referencing your character or the selected character, Hutao, which you may pick up on some of details here, but it will not be. It may miss the point overall. As you see here, I got multiple of these blue-haired characters that based on these stains look more like Eula than Hutao. Oh, so I got that. But you just need to do some. You just need to tweak details. But here we are in Cute Anime Girls. Just so you can see, it's gonna cost me 16 for this one generation. So just to show you how simple or broad a prompt can be, we're doing Huta from Genshin Impact, uh, plunging attack, plunging plunging attack. Um, term Hilichurl may be broad, pardon, foreign to AI because there is many models for the idea of Hilichurl. However, there is something similar that Hilichurls are based off of or look alike, and it's goblins. So this one, the part of AI generation you need to put into mind to be aware of the what the AI may actually know because if it tries to reference something that doesn't know for certainty, it may not even generate something resembling that what you saw. But Charles, uh, so let's just do this just to show you that uh, that may not have a reference point for the term Haley-Churl. We're just gonna type it in and generate. So, and I set it to 2 for the purpose that I can get away with getting 2 for the price of 1. But it's and just be patient whenever you generate art because it's gonna take a while. For these other artworks, it took me half a minute each, and that's just in the generation. Didn't include prompt time or the whatnot. But while that is going on, break. Oh, it generated quick. Pardon that we missed that. Shouldn't have changed it now. I thought someone commented, so I wanted to see. But as you see, here's the artwork it generated. You can click on it to zoom in and or at least launching it on your monitor. And you're gonna see that yeah, they're highly detailed and look amazing. However, let us take note into like so many of the details. We should have probably prepared a page for this because I don't want to uh, end up pulling um, uh who let's do this. Hotel Genshin Impact. Hotel images. This is the character we're looking for. Hotel. How? And we're just holding this to the side just so we can see as to hmm, how this AI works and the hits and misses of the of its generation. Let's zoom in on this one. Let me zoom in. So again, again, AI Leonardo AI is capable of of developing great detail, and on occasion better than official artworks. Like here, here it looks very more details than whatever than what I've been seeing in Genshin Impact so far. Uh, Pardon, I had a I want to say I had a funky breakfast, but just to say that I have so, just that my phone is not in the best condition for streaming or talking to the store. Borderline store, but not fully there, sort of situation. But as you're seeing, even though I picked up some of the inspirations or the lack thereof of the artwork is able to portray characters and uh, characters, but once again not fully to the design or the original reference point. Let's study both of them to see what we can look at and how to improve. Okay, let's first describe Hutao so we understand as to what we're trying to create. Hutao is a Lance user from the video game Genshin Impact. Uh, her her main focus is this special ghost, which is her ultimate. That's and then one more. Mm. Alright, so like she has two modes of attack. That through her lance and this ghost. And sort of using as well that she is of a pyro element. And as we're seeing here, the Leonardo AI picked up on the fact that she is a pyro user and that there's an engulfing flame around her at times. And sort of, and, and so imagine generate that. But even that may not be fully to the detail of what you're seeing here. Yeah. It looks wholly different here at moments. It looks less like flame and more like cloth. Probably silk based its on its what property can we address that as? Yes. Pardon me. But nonetheless, it's even though it's able to pick up elements and looks impressive on its own, if you were to compare it to the source material uh, or the inspiration, it may not be fully matching 100%, and that is fine because you need to take account into the way all of uh, these things. I want to say all these things work, but what I'm actually trying to touch on is art style and intent, intent of and the way like those art styles like to express material. For example, if we break down the Genshin Impact art style, it's more cartoony when it comes to anime design, right? A little bit more outlandish, and mm, dish, and it's not trying to take itself too seriously, even though it is capable of telling um, intense plot points. However, now let's look at this artwork, and you'll see like it's a whole different thing. It's trying to be more expressive in detail through its detail. It's trying to design. It's trying to throw in just as much detail as it can to make it not just eye popping, but realistic in it. Um, we can, let's compare Liyue, this the location of where Hugh works, the 77. I forget that element of the story. But she works as the 77th funeral parlor. No, what? She works as the 77th director of the funeral parlor at Leeway. So Leeway, Genshin Impact. We're just gonna look at this for just so you can compare that to the artwork at the city. Get your empire. Damn, we're looking at screenshots from this. But as you're seeing, it does pick up on some detail. Well, and Liyue seems to be like a traditional pardon, not Japanese, but Chinese city with these clay tile roofs of a turquoise or blue color. So in that aspect, I was able to replicate this. But keep in mind that both Liyue and whatever's being generated here in this artwork is based off of something that we already have lots of reference points for, and that is ancient China. So I, for this, I want you to take note that sometimes AI arts may have an easier time generating some things because it already has greater, not just a, a larger amount of reference points, but to the quality and extent those reference points are able to express the source material. I don't think we need to search up Chinese tiled roofs, but I trust you're able to see the picture. And here in the second image, we're seeing the same theme. We're seeing the flame around her, but not fully. And we're seeing that in this, it's much clearer than, well, in both of them, it's very clear that, excuse me, that that what she's wearing is not even a tiny bit resembling that of herself. It does try to express the fluidity or flow and motion of her hair here, but it's in hairstyles that in the end are not hers. Even though we do see something resembling bangs, it's not to the way that's drawn for Hutao. Here we see that they're two going from um her her right to her left, and they're over her eye range. However, here we're seeing that those bangs are overlapping and meeting over each other around that middle space of the face. Okay, so yeah, well, pardon, give me a moment to think. Like I'm trying to work out much taxi and time schedule, and I don't think I've had a some proper sleep last night. Pardon me. Mm, pardon me. Just gonna take a moment to think. Um, so I think we've touched up on much of that. And again, AI art generation may not fully encompass that which you intended, and as we're seeing, we're missing the helichurls, and as well her lance. So next time when you decide to tweak this prompt, you're gonna adjust for those things, both here and the general prompt and our negative prompt. Now let's address that of the negative prompt, and here we're just trying to pick up on things that we don't want seen or discrepancies that are generally made in AI art. Let's take an example for these right here. As we're seeing, negative prompt could be as simple as just recognizing that, oh, maybe we don't have the proportions or that are realistic or correct. Right? And there and there's misshapen details regarding the subject. So as you see here, like we're having it's more clear that the hands are deformed, so we needed to address that in the negative prompt deformed hands. And as well, we're seeing that it looks as if the hair is like flowing through, repeat, flowing through the hand. So it looks as if the hand it does not have mass, even though it is painted as such. Ouch. Ouch. Uh, but just to show what different models can do, that was on Anime Girls 1.0. Let's go to anti-cloth. Maybe you want off, and this just to see what it's capable of doing. So same prompt, nothing's changing. We're just changing model. Hmm. And keep notes these proportions that you're seeing here, 768 by 768. That just refers to pixel size or how big they will be on the monitor when displayed to full size. I did not get to say what the pixel size were for these, but they will change based on model. But you're also capable of adjusting that to your liking here on either input dimensions, adjust adjusting here, or even here in the alchemy lab. Pardon. Mm, I'm very exhausted despite it being early morning, mid morning. I don't know. But we have our prompts and we're going back to those themes of the original artwork of cute anime. Now hmm, now we're seeing like a color palette that's probably I wanted to say probably, but still not close to that of Genshin Impact. But as we're seeing, it's trying to it's still it's a very vibrant art style. You but and it's trying to maintain all the detail that that the previous model used or was be able to portray. But notice that it likes to blur with it or mess around with it to remove focus from it and put it on the subject. Okay. So let's because these two are similar poses. Let's compare these two. So here we have a full body image of what the AI thinks is Utah from Genshin Impact. Act, and let's focus on the background for these comparisons. And so, even though we do see blurring here for this artwork, it is more so more on the idea that further back it's blurred out. While if we were to compare for this, it is everything that is not the subject is blurred out. And I'm seeing or okay, weird voice in the background. But I am seeing that or want to explain this off as this art style wants to express more or put more focus on the subject itself and not the overall well, image, if we can put it that. Uh, oh boy. But I'm like tired and can barely talk. How's the chat doing? Brother, a comment back. Uh, don't worry about my text, Yope. That's. Hey, pardon. Let me readjust myself. One moment, one moment. So, so here we are making this. Okay, yeah, we're making this. But what about that's the mm, okay, I'm thinking about what's the next part. We still need to create our characters. There's some we just went through practically a tutorial, but let's maybe take inspiration from this the next for the next character. So maybe we don't want Hutao. Oh, oh. So let's remove Hutao from Genshin Impact. Alright, but let's say keeping to the spirit of these artworks, maybe Chinese warrior or a Chinese sorcerer. Plunging attack, Haley Charles. Again, Haley Charles is respected to that of Genshin Impact, and as we're seeing, there's no there's no reference point, or it does not try to will display said hilly churros. So we're gonna remove that prompt and replace it with what another enemy type that we're gonna probably see a lot of in MMORPGs. These la la la. Let's just do goblins. Attack, attacking goblins, goblins scattering. Whoops, scattering this once. We just like continue adding information according to what we want to portray. We are just essentially adding the details that we want to see. So, what we want to keep supposedly Hu Tao's design of Chinese warrior and Chinese sorcerer. Hmm. You want to see a plunge in attack, and well, that is being targeted at goblins, and we're seeing that some of the goblins are scattering. Um, we probably there's a good chance it will still generate it's a Chinese city, so no need to add that based on these previous entries. However, if you want to focus that or guarantee it, then yes, you add in Chinese city. He fights on in. Remember, this is AI. It's Reddit. It's algorithm centric. It's really picky in the words in its diction, and will try to follow that diction as well as it can. So if you want a fight to be in the streets, you want to say in. But if it's going to be over rooftops, you probably want to say fight on Chinese city, or fight on Chinese rooftops. Fight in Chinese city. And detail doesn't just have to be about scenario or environments, but it could as well include the characteristics of set elements. We're missing the lands from Hutao, so mm, we're gonna type in lands, golden. Um, I also want you to describe lands that you would put on Hutao. So let's type in lances, Genshin Impact. Wow. If we said broad blade, we're not describing lances. We're describing what's that other weapon? It's a pole arm. Halberds. We're trying to describe halberds, so with the usage of broad blade. Um, so instead of broad, we're gonna type in long. And pardon if there there are elements of the font string that are not mm, I'm not expressing vocally. It's just that well, yes, my condition right now, but also that of that we're trying to work as best as we can. And long blade, you know, emerald is highly respected in Chinese culture. So we're gonna type in emerald garments. And I was gonna mention earlier that this looks more like Zhongli, but we're gonna keep that. We're also gonna take this opportunity to write a prompt, and excuse me, the negative prompt. And these are the details that we don't want to see or details that need to be fixed or prevented. So broken hands, uh, misformed hands, bad proportion, misformed, misformed body. And you just continue adding this, and based on the instances you don't want to see, because for two reasons. One, you want accurate piece of artwork that looks genuinely made. Second, you don't have much of this to work with. And so you don't want to spend everything just to end up not having achieved a fully satisfying artwork. There's one more thing I want to add. Lack of fire, but it could also be because of the elements. Pardon the model that we're not seeing much fire being generated. Fire, rain around character. So we're gonna generate that. It's gonna take a while, but Lupus isn't back. It's gonna take a little bit. A little bit, at least half a minute. These generations used to be much faster. I'm not sure as to why I went from when I used to experience it at 20 seconds to now that it's taking. Oh. Ah! Ah! Wow. Two comments. Two or three comments. First, this dude is looking like that character from Marvel with all the different rings, the 10 rings. In terms of color scheme, there's a golden breast or chest plate, and then under it are these emerald green. It's just emerald green, la la la, regular vest, right? And we're taking notice of the design nine of these things. A second detail is that for goblins they ended up generating small Chinese dudes, for lack of better terms. And sadly, they picked up on similar details for the small dudes. It looks more like he's commanding them or is in a leading position, whereas this one he's being revered by an enemy. So that's you'll have to continue adjusting this for as the artwork pursues. Yes. Uh, oh, it even tried generating the ears. But it looks like as if got added to their helmets instead of their actual body. And this looks more really akin to that of a sorcerer, or or bat or a really experienced general. We're gonna. Hmm. I'm not sure. I want to change the model one last time. Let's go to deliberate. Model created by that is great for both photorealism and artistic creations. We'll do the. I want to see what photorealism is according to this. One moment. It's gonna take us another generation, and yes, we just went for another 16 tokens. And again, if you're concerned about tokens, you can either upgrade your plan, which I don't have a chance of doing, or second step, you can. I did not mean to go to this page. Go back. Oh, it's still not generated. Or you can just wait 24 hours it was after it's being depleted. Now we're in the second one where it's maintaining to the details and design of these two. You know, green garments with a golden chest plate on top. I don't like much smaller people resembling goblins to an extent, or taking inspiration from such. It's I was going to point this out too as well in the previous generation. We have this malformed weapons and so for our subject. And just to quickly comment on this I kiss before I move on, this sort of reminds me of Milan for some reason. So that's something we want to fix in the negative prompts because it's like a misgen something that went wrong in the generation. So remember this general prompt. This is detail and overall composition of the artwork. Negative prompts. This is for the correction of details that are were not expressed to the best of their best that they could have been, or do not align with your with what you had in mind. And for both these, you have to be attentive to what you want to see and what the AI is capable of doing. And as we're seeing it, it's very capable of expressing when we ourselves are not as capable of expressing even to the smallest of this detail. So we want to type in misshapen weapons. We want to say broken weapon shaft. Mm, more than one weapon for subject. More than two limbs. More than two appendages. Also, be careful in how you write some things because with the number two, you can write it with the letter, with its number or its la la la, its words TWO. Oh, and the AI may have an easier time picking up one over the other. I'm not sure which is preferable, but yeah, this what it does end up picking up. Will generate, gonna cost us 16. We saw as it depleted 86 to 70. We have four no, not four. We have three, not four. We do have four. It's we have 64 tokens left to spend. Based on this. Oh boy. Um, did I try to correct anything? We were given a fire sword. And this one, like right here, the detail makes it a little bit confusing because here we're seeing a dagger. But take notice also here the composition of the hand, where the where the thumb is over, here the blade, so it's implied that only the four fingers are carrying the dagger. So it doesn't have a hmm. So that our character is not being seen with the full grip or full application of their hand. Then because of the way that this sword aligns with this, it looks as if the two were generated as part of the same generation. Oh boy, voice is out. Voice is out. So that's what's going on. My voice is out. And here's the fire sword. So we're not seeing the lance that Yutao had. Oh boy. Voice is out, voice is out, voice is out. I can only force myself a little bit more. So mm, maybe this was it's to a fullest extent. However, uh, we need to generate our VRoid. So we're going to our VRoid. We should have generated AI. No, not AI. We should have generated something more like a Honkai Star Rail character. Because as we're gonna see, we have these characters that don't exist. We could have copied. We couldn't do our best to bring these characters into VRoid Studio. So we're gonna create a male character. I said this is a fighter, so we need something that expressive of capable of fighting. On the list, zoom in, zoom in. Mm, but as well something that can pick up the art style. We're gonna go with these artworks because it's more anime-esque, especially with these two. So, mm, we're probably gonna follow this one. And these designs are more complex that are not native to VRoid. So this is something we're gonna end up looking at and having to compensate for in design. And there's one thing you can do, or make it two, and it's one, you can adjust textures here inside the VRoid Studio. Second is that you can generate the 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 cloths that you want in another software. I believe it's in Blender that you can do this and import them here into VRoid. Let's adjust this. Um, hmm. I think we're gonna copy this one, these two. So we're seeing blue eyes. We're seeing blue eyes for our character. Based on the outline, it's more of a sky blue than a dark blue. Oh, pardon, not outline, but towards the exterior of the iris. So we're going something like here. Or second thing we can do is color picker. We can do color picker. Not up here. Is this what I'm thinking it is? Mm, yes, it is what I was thinking it is, but not. It is not what we're looking for. And so something similar to what you just clicked, but looks like we'll have to improvise in this on the spot. Try, that is too vibrant of a blue. We're looking for something that's both that is really dark in the inside, but really light on the towards the edges of the pupil. Iris. My bad. We can even if we click on edit texture, we can like zoom in and adjust it. But as we're seeing here in this texture, it is aligning with what we're seeing there in the picture, so we don't actually need to tamper with this. So click out of here. Uh, Close without saving because we haven't tampered with it. Mm. Whoops. We're gonna do presets. Do we have any highlights? There aren't that many. We're not seeing the portrayal of that much, so. Oh, this already landed itself well. It might be the one that we keep too. Yeah, it's the one we're keeping. This one, right? Some things we'll have an easier time working with. We're looking for a male design with some bangs towards the front. Hatsune Miku here. Just have to point out, good Hatsune Miku fan. Something with a ponytail may work, but we may also need to adjust for design, right? Also, if you hold down the wheel button, assuming you're working on Windows, you can just grab it and like shift it like this. However, I haven't found. Okay, hold down right, and you're able to do a full on. You can look. Oh, did I mean to do that? Well, you can like look around your VRoid. So wheelbarrow wheel button, press down on it. And three, you'll see sometimes you get to move it around like this. If you hold down right and move your mouse, you get to shift it like this. Wherever you placed your mouse when activating the right button is where we'll try to treat as the point of not origin, but from where all the rotations will be done. So here's this. This. There might be another ponytail design. Maybe this. This expression more of that flamboyant look. He also looks more feminine in this first one, which is probably the one I'm gonna end up following. So, uh, that is twin tail. This we need. We also need something expressive of the bangs. Hmm. Where's that other one we picked up on? This one, right? Keep in mind that your character may end up looking just based on presets. That's looking very different from reference material. So this is where like you have to learn as artists to work with the tools and to create your own models because you need to import them or have something that better aligns with what you want to generate. And as you saw, we quickly made his hair darker. This more like a black. It's more like a black. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a dark brown, so I was satisfied with that. We need it to be more expressive of black, but something that you can tell that it's brown, right? This looks as if you add like try to add yellow paints to it. Uh, that makes it gray. Mm, pardon, I just got stuck with some stupid thoughts. Mm. La 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 la. So, so you'll have to play around with all of this, and also have to do some research as to develop more detail for your characters. Here, this is the male Chinese guy. So we're gonna search up average height, average height, Chinese adult. So 5 foot, it's 5 foot 6 inch. Here I thought this 177 was small. Turns out it's taller than what we have here, close to 6 feet. But if you so feminine height, uh, okay, let's so feminine height and masculine height refer to two different things. A feminine height would likes to pull on the legs, so expanding the leg design. Masculine height is overall X and Y. Okay. Uh, we're gonna make you a little bit shorter. For this, we need like an impressive frame. Pardon, if my breakfast is killing me. This looks more like a basketball player, not a warrior. Well, maybe making him smaller would be better. Because like in this posture, looks like the character's actually smaller, but makes himself look bigger through not just their uniform, but for their pose. Are all of those female backgrounds? Uh, Okay, now this is where VRoid Studio itself is very limited in what it can portray because it will not have the vast inventory um, that you would like to imagine. Even though their designs can add great detail, they're not going to be aligned or best expressive of what you want to generate. This is the closest that we're seeing to the artwork that we have, and this is where you need to give where you and I needs to put focus into into design our own jigs. So just to show, we're clicking on that one. Give it some time because it'll take some time to design. This looks more like European or Western, and it is a caption that expressive flamboyancy of the artwork. It's has some of those colors, but not fully that of the aesthetic or original culture that is being expressed. So that's something we'll have to develop by ourselves, that which I did not have or the ability to do so. So pardon me on that. Also, some of these are reserved for particular body types, so the VRoid will take a while in generating them, and we'll try their best to adjust for it. Pardon me. As you're seeing here, it wants in the texture we're seeing shades, and we see shades to imply a breast size. However, because we're dealing with a masculine character, that will not be shown as well. Hmm. So we're gonna head back to this. 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 Pardon me. Oh, this looks like a Yaku's. Maybe we should have focused on her if we knew about it. But oh well, we have this. There's also this one that's reminiscent of crows from Ruby. No, pardon, more looks more like Dracula's. I just saw the red cloak and the black and gray patterns, and thought it was crows. But now I'm seeing that it's Dracula's. Now let's try with this hospital patient, like on my day off sort of aesthetic, and far from the warrior aesthetic that we want. I believe we can also adjust for these. So let's one more time. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, there aren't that many other models that we can work with natively here. So we can go to here, and this is where they they break down the different elements of the. I did not notice that they had this. That's Chinese aesthetic, but sadly not the one that we need. Now we're going to custom, and I believe here we can and create new. So we need okay, codes might be. Do we have a stand up? No, we do not have a stand up. Uh, so we're gonna have a coat with a high neck. So we're gonna click on coat, and here like not what I thought we're gonna have. Okay, but this is where we get to adjust for expected design elements. So there's the white on from below, but is there? We can edit the texture. Click on it. This right here just displays the proportions of it. Um, not, I don't know how to properly edit this. So we're gonna close without saving. Oh boy. But as you're seeing there, you can tamper with the textures themselves here inside the software. And if you have experience doing such things, like you'll find it easier than I am here. Here, but they'll. All right, well, only so that, but that leaves us with these elements to work with because I think there's an easier element to work with, the sleeves. Um, because of the gauntlets, we're having a difficult time telling if the sleeves are full down to the wrist, or if they're withdrawn just to make it easier to put on gauntlet. However, we can't tell that this is a fake coat. So we want to zoom in. Zoom in. You want this to be a fake coat, probably from some really fake. I, I don't know why I was about to say certain words, but not that word. But fake from needing to have fake material for battle purposes. Wait, is it just expanded in one way, or is it adding genuine material? I cannot tell, buddy. I cannot tell. Mm, we don't need this to be longer, right? No. However, we do need it to be shorter. Um, that should be good. Whiffed. Cuff whiffed, right? Can I not make that a negative value? -1? No. Sleeve whiffed. Not what we want. What is the cuff whiffed say? No. Hmm. The Switch. No, Switch does not have anything to comment. Hmm. Oh boy. Well, not red. I did not think it was gonna take 1 hour for one character there. But let's just go back to what we already had. And also here, as we just saw, while transitioning to this uniform, there's multiple things we have to think about when it comes to the clothes. As we saw, you may need to fully design the pants, and it's because it's not just that it's like one material. It's that mm, there are details that will be covered or overlain in by other elements or items that the character is wearing. And so just keep that in mind as you create and import into VRoid. And sadly, we'll have to keep this as is. And this is another menu where you learn to um, bring in materials. Because right here we have this, but it's quite limited. We just have two sets of glasses and pardon, two sets of ears. Let's put rabbit ears. Terrifying little rabbits. I wouldn't be surprised if they just used this for Ruby, the, the anime from Rooster Teeth. This looks more like a Chinese dress or a Chinese aesthetic. Mm. Yeah, there isn't that much more. Or but we're gonna save this. This you know, pardon. Even though we couldn't bridge the gap between the designs of what we're seeing here in the AR art to VRoid Studio, well, I trust that you're able to pick up on the basic ideas and are able to work on that to generate your own artworks. Works, works. Pardon. I am out of breath. Plenty. One moment. Mm, I think I'm just gonna take a nap after stream. But there's lots of things that you need to keep in mind about software. It's only capable of expressing based on your ability to express or use the software and based on what is native to that software. So you will need to constantly add materials, and practice, just overall practice with the tools that it provides. Right? Gonna keep it at this and hope all is well. Hmm. Well, hope all of you have fun and are able to enjoy yourselves. Ciao. Yeah, pardon that so lack of energy. Yeah, but we're exhausted and no, we still need to save this. We still need to save this. However, there isn't much to save. Knowing you. What's the? There's a famous Chinese general from the Three States period. Liu Liu? No, not Liu Liu. It's another word. You say Liu Bao. Liu Bao? Liu Liao? Liu Bao? It might be Liu Bao. Liu Bao. Not spelled like this, not a tiny bit. But a general who's told of a story that not told of a story, but a story was told about him, where he would just stand on the mountain peak. He can continue practicing striking the lances until he would split the heavens into two. So, Liu Blau. Okay, I don't remember his name, but we're gonna, in the spirit of that character, we have Liu Bao here. Let's go to the model selection. Here are my previous generations. This is Liu Bao here for stream that we made during stream. Mm, mm. And well, I have to click out on this. Hope all of you well and are able to take this as inspiration, or at least to have bridged from concept to application. Thank you for hopping in. Thank you for following and for watching. And we'll probably end up transferring this over to YouTube. Well, this shall be all. Ciao, ciao.